This week on CountryMusicJunkies.com, we have a Canadian singer-songwriter from Barrie, Ontario. Her name is Amy Rose. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you have a really cool history behind how you got into the industry. Do you want to give us a little bit of an insight to that?
Sure. Basically the same as, most. I was young, got the music gene, loved it, was hypnotized by it, got on stage when I was about 5, entered a competition, and right there I was hooked.
Wow, at the age of 5, you knew already.
I did, and I believe I actually sat my parents down and said, where most parents, dream of their kids being doctors and lawyers and teachers. I think I was, 11 or so, and I sat my parents down and I said, I really, really think I've got something here, and I really want to pursue a music career. And they had, they were so supportive, stood behind me, and said, this is how we're going to help out, and let's work on it. And at the age of 15, I released my first album.
That is crazy. Now, yeah, you were only 13 when you released that One Special Girl. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that is a very young age for someone to release music into the industry. How did that all come together?
It was right at the hype where Leanne Rimes had first come out with her first album, and we're both the same age. So, it was, I think, the trend at the time. And, that's where a lot of the younger generation was starting to come out and release albums. She released a country album. I released a gospel album. And even though gospel wasn't my passion, it was definitely country music. We felt at the time that was the road that we needed to take. And it landed me on the Gospel NEM tour, which I got to tour with Jody and Kathy Twitty, which is Conway Twitty's daughters, which is my absolute idol. I love Conway Twitty, huge fan of his, grew up on his music, so, that was pretty cool. And then, it led me to, different things of understanding what was going on in the music career, so it was a good road to take at that time.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, how would you describe kind of your evolution of sound? Because you said you kind of started with the gospel country, and now I think what you've got out is very different to that. So do you want to kind of give us a little bit of an overview of that?
Yeah, I went from the gospel country feel with the first album, and then the second album, I was 16 when we released it, The Last of the True Believers. It was more of a country album. And then this one is kind of like a poppy country. This is definitely my roots. This is, the type of music that I want to sing, and everything from this new upcoming album is stuff that I've had a say on. I actually had a hand in co-writing Party Like a Redneck, which is our single that is out on radio right now. And the video, and just everything from picking the songs for this album to working with the musicians, to working with the producers, to I've had so much say on this album, and just from when I first started out years ago to having no say, just doing what was told of me to, and now I've developed this kind of sense of this is what we're going to do, and I've had more of a hand in it, which this is my baby, and I love it.
Excellent. So let's talk about that single. Party Like a Redneck is a lot of fun.
For sure. Every song has a story behind it, right? And some of the mysterious things that come up happen in the most mysterious ways. And this song was based on my sister's wedding. It was, my sister got married a couple years back, and Glenn Colson, which is one of my producers, used to be in a pop group called VIP, and my sister had absolutely adored them, loved them, had their posters on her wall, was going to marry them. So when she had found out that Glenn and Marty, which were both in VIP, were working on the album, she wanted to make them, insisted on it, and I didn't want her to embarrass me. So what I had done was I had arranged for Glenn to come out to her wedding and sing a duet with me. And at this wedding, I think Glenn, he's totally Mr. Hollywood, did not expect to walk into this. It was flat out the most redneck wedding you could possibly imagine, right? So he had walked in and sang, and then afterwards my grandpa had went up to him and said, son, you're a pretty good singer, but that Conway Twitty, now that's an entertainer. And Glenn just kind of looked at me and said, oh my God, this is a song. And long and behold, Marty, Glenn, and I had wrote Party Like a Redneck.
That is awesome. That is a great story, all because of your sister's wedding. Wow. Well, that is that's awesome, and I mean the song is great, and as you said, it's in regular rotation on country radio right now, so that's wonderful. Is that kind of the sound that we can expect to hear from the forthcoming album?
For sure. Everything from, the Party Like Redneck sound to I Just Want You to Know, the kind of power ballads and the let's let loose and have fun and drink some beer type of, music. That's exactly what you're going to hear on this next album. Excellent.
Now, if fans want to get in touch with you or want to check out your music, how can they do that?
You can go to www.amyrosemusic.com. On there is my link to my Facebook page, my Twitter page, my MySpace page, my Reverb Nation page, as well as you can listen to some sampler music there.
Amy, thank you so much for chatting with us. Amy Rose, Canadian country music singer-songwriter from Barrie, Ontario. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me.